Hello, how are you? So, I've had been channeling some things and receiving a lot of different messages over the past few days. I've also been seeing a lot of things which has seemed to be like more prevalent in this world lately. Okay. And at first, I was kind of being like, oh, maybe that's just because like of what I've been looking at, you know what I mean? Because we do attract what we look at and what we think about and stuff like that. However, as I reflect on it, I'm like, no, it's not my fault, like completely, because you know what I mean? Like I'm not seeking it out. It's just there. It's just like around. It just happens to be present. And I've just noticed it seems to be increasing. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? So I don't know. I'm gonna actively try to be like, no, I don't wanna engage in this or focus on this. But it's just so much around spiritual attacks, evil eyes, like people just being straight up mean to other people. And some of it I get, you know what I mean? I can get when like we see something that is just horrendous, right? Or people who are doing something really bad, we can be like, oh my God, that is not a good thing to do. And it may be warranted in the way of like, hey, we should bring like even this, right? Me talking about this, being like, ew, is a version of it, right? I'm not directing it at any one particular person. I'm just thinking in the fact that like there's so many people who are actively harming other people regularly, consciously and unconsciously, like realizing and not realizing, and then people who are just like they're good on being mean and horrible to other people. But the thing about people who are doing that too, I've noticed, is a lot of times it's projection. And then, right, because I know this, I'm like, I know when we're like blah, 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 about people or something, it can be like we're projecting onto people our own stuff. But I don't think that's true in that case of every single time because there's times that like I'm like blah, 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 to people because it's so something dead set about like anything I would ever do. So it's like I would never do that. So how the fuck am I projecting anything that like one? Okay, it's 111 confirmation. So I feel like that like because I'm always beating myself up. That's another thing. Like I do the evil eye to me. I don't need anybody else to do it. I'm attacking myself regularly, trying to like analyze things and not say the wrong shit or like engage in this reality that we have full of evil and not so nice things happening. But I've just noticed so much people feeling the effects of it and also other people just like actively attacking others to small degrees and big degrees. But the other day I saw it with a spiritual content creator who is going to the extent that it's like, how can you put yourself out there as a spiritual content creator? What are you doing? And attack it. And I feel like it's a tactic on top of it. I got this girl's number. I got this girl's number. Okay. I know. I know what she's doing. I can tell. I can see the motivations and I can see like what she's doing. I think I just killed a mosquito. No, I didn't yet. I will kill you, motherfucker. Ah! Sorry. See, projecting. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely not. No, don't want to be a mosquito. I don't want to suck anyone's blood. But a mosquito is basically a representation of spiritual attack, evil motherfuckers who are like wanting to suck on you. And that's a perfect thing about what I was just saying is I feel like some of the reason why this person is doing what they're doing, just like openly and actively, like, hey, yo, let's go look at like this big named spiritual creator and tear everything about them apart and so negatively like we'll put on a video and review the video of someone like Deepak Chopra, you know, or someone that's like pretty well known and they have like 4,000 subscribers and go on to other creators' channels that have like 100,000 subscribers, be like, they only have like 100,000. Like, they should, like, criticizing how often they're posting and criticizing what they've been posting, criticizing their perspectives, tearing them apart basically for like everything that they're doing and like demonizing it. Yet, at the same time, the name of their channel started off like on that side of shit. Like, how are you gonna call yourself that? But at the same time, be like, oh, that's such a dumb fucking way of thinking. And bubba da boop. It's like you were part of the club, and you still kind of are. And I noticed that throughout the video because this person would, because this person is trying to say like all of the spiritual agendas, right, are bad, negative, toxic, no good. I don't even know what her beliefs are at this point because she makes it very like difficult to know and assumes that everybody knows based off of her previous videos. But it's like if someone just comes in to watch one of these fucking things that you're putting out here, we have no idea what you're talking about other than the fact that you're calling yourself Pleiadian something, and yet anything to do with Pleiadian, because it was Bridget Nielsen, right? I saw somebody share like a quick little clip because Bridget Nielsen went on the radio show with Art Bell, who does like the weird spiritual shit. She went on his show and was talking about something about star seeds and Bubba da Boops. Resonated, right? And I was like, I have not seen her in a long time, but back in the beginning, my awakening, I had seen stuff from her. She was one of the ones that I heard stuff about, like, you know, the gray agenda and things like that with. But she's been around for a while, and I've never looked at her as evil or being like a horrible person or even just like not well with their business and stuff, because like she does different, she goes and takes people to places and swims with dolphins and stuff. Like she's doing things that are different, you know? So it's like she's not, her YouTube isn't like I got to be here every day for that. She's doing probably very well financially with those other things. So I don't know, the way that this girl goes about like tearing these other people apart is crazy to me. And she was, I don't know, but it's not the only thing that I see this happening in. But the fact that it's happening in the spiritual community among spiritual people, because she's like, oh, I'm a shaman and I'll do soul retrievals and cut your cords and blah, 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 blah. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, ascension ain't real. And I get what she's saying on some degree with some stuff, because I agree, like a lot of the things that have been told or spoken about, like I've talked about this, like when I first woke up, I went through the like the time where I was like, I believe everything anybody says. And you know what I mean? Just not even in that way, just in the way of like listening and channeling and stuff, like because a lot of it resonated so strongly that I would pay attention and believe things that shifted over time. But that's part of spiritual awakening too. What this person has done is like gone from that level to being like, let me just demonize everything altogether and say everything that, because she kept pausing the video, right? So I had gone onto YouTube to look for Bridget, and when I put her name in, some videos popped up, and there was one of a different girl who was like talking about her. And when I went to her channel, that's when I realized, like, holy fucking shit, she's not, and it's not the only one. She's done some other people. She's done like Teal Swan, which I get because Teal Swan has had a lot of fucking not so good things around her, as like track record wise. But she's also been around as long as whatever. But her whole point here is like she's trying to say that they're part of the problem and that they're like sent in from somebody that like they've been like, oh, I don't know. She's fucking kind of weird with some of it. The whole thing is weird, right? But what I'm doing right now is what she's doing, right? And I don't want to do that, but it's like, why? What the fuck? I don't know. I guess, am I projecting? Because like I'm not saying anything bad about her, but like you can't. I can tell that she does not have a very like lucrative system herself. She's not doing things to the degree that like she should be looking at people with 100,000 subscribers or a huge platform and like busting on them for their marketing. Like literally, those are some of her complaints about her. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Also, her moving her hands. That like she's doing something evil by moving her hands and like doing something to people to attack them. And there's another creator that she did a review on, right? That I've seen before on Instagram or somewhere. And the girl has red hair and she does like language and stuff. And I'll admit that like the whole light language avenue, I haven't I haven't like actively pursued. I don't create a whole lot of like content surrounding that. I do believe in sending distance healing. I do believe that we can send through frequency and energy and intention. So those of the people who are called to like make sounds and stuff like that, I don't really see it any differently than like someone just sitting here for a few moments sending Reiki healing. I don't see it that far off from me playing the boom. I don't see it being like so far away from that we could be like that person is sending you daggers and is because she's saying that that person is basically spiritually attacking people through light language activations and stuff. Even if she is, we should not say that around that topic as if everybody out there who's doing that is doing that, right? But that's the way she portrays it, is that anybody who is doing like this type of stuff is no good. They're AI, they're evil, they're part of some agenda to like take us off course, and that like all of the agendas, and I do believe to some degree that like what we're like with some of the stuff that she says, but not all of the things that she says. But even so, I would never go like I would have never watched one of her videos and then been like, "Hey guys, let's review this creator." Plaster up here with her name and everything, and like keep pausing the video throughout because like that's what she was doing to Bridget, that's what she's doing to this other girl, that's what she was doing to Teal Swan and ton like she had one on Bashat. I didn't even watch them. I just saw that she had them. I watched the Bridget Nielsen one and I started the one about the red-haired girl just to get an idea. But then at the same breath, she has videos out there talking about concepts that are like, even like if you're going to go on and be like, okay, what this person believes is totally insane and crazy and stupid, like, I think we could say the same about you. But hey, but not on all of it either. And I would not do that to somebody in the spiritual community or any community really. Like I get it when it comes to like, all right, well, the other day when I did one about Gypsy Rose, I was bringing awareness to the fact of like that is kind of messed up and like those types of people exist. We want to be careful, but not in the sense of whatever she believes spiritually or like all of the actions that she's ever done. Like I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Like I'm sure it was not easy to grow up in that circumstance, but even so, seeing what that girl could do in terms of manipulating an autistic boy and going through this whole like long thing to do it to him. In all of that time, you're telling me that she couldn't have just emailed or texted or sent off a video like she was doing to him to the police or to anybody. Like she's very intelligent. She was extremely intelligent as a little baby too. Like she's 1 year old and they're like, what are your phalanges? And she's like, what is your cranium? She's like, she knew. Okay, so very intelligent person who murdered somebody calculatedly, and it got covered up, and you can tell that the full. Like she even says in interviews, like I didn't even tell my lawyers everything. So, like people don't understand the fullness of that, but they should, so that they're not sending money off to that, right? And so that they don't get caught up in that, and so that other people could be aware. Hey, maybe she's not going to be the best mom, and she may not even be a mom because she may be lying about that. We want to know about those types of things. I don't feel like I'm spiritually attacking her in doing that. I'm helping people to be aware of like these are some red flags, man. We should be careful with these types of things. And in this case, right, what this girl is doing is just like not okay to do. And I'm seeing it on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere you go, on everything that's posted, on everything that's shared. People are just tearing other people apart, complaining. Like I literally just saw a thing. It was fingernails. Okay, a girl made awesome sauce fingernails. One of them had clear on it, and one of them had like a beach scene with like a little thing on there that was like it was like sunning at the beach. It was like I don't even know, like a little cartoon dude. And then when you put the clear nail over that one, it brings on a bathing suit and sunglasses and stuff. And it's like, it was like two together, like making a full scene. Like when this one goes off, she's no longer wearing her bikini, but she's got like the tan lines and everything. And it's, again, it's just a little cartoon thing. It's not like a girl or a boy or whatever. It was cute. But people in the comments like, you should have done it this way. Like, even on that, creative expression, like, let people live, man. Who the hell are you to tell them what? And that's very mild, right? That was just a very mild, like, oh, you should have done it this way type of thing. But the mild becomes moderate to heavy. And I keep seeing this theme, and it's like, what the heck is going on? And there's so much divide, and I just don't get it, especially in the spiritual community. But I've noticed that, like, we're not achieving anything by attacking others and their beliefs. And that's okay for other people to have those beliefs, and it's okay for those people to have followers that believe in those same beliefs. I don't like, and I get it, because there are people out there that are charlatans. There are people out there who will lie and manipulate and whatever. But if you are going after people who don't really seem to have any ill intention, like, I've never seen Bridget Nielsen be evil. I've never seen her come across with any type of like way of trying to harm people. It's what she believes. And I've said this even in the cases of people who I knew were not really good in their core with some stuff, like guided people in a way that was probably detrimental to them. Even in those cases, I never would have been like, oh yeah, so this person did this. Like, I know that they did it. I heard from the person they'd done it to, and I helped that person to see differently so that they could actually benefit and heal, and that happened. But that didn't require me like destroying that other person or any other people that go towards that person. And I would not do that to somebody. I've had it done to me, like, I get it. It's not, and it can just happen. And but I think of this way. Some people, right, if they're truly not great and they're coming with bad intention, people will eventually see. And maybe those people needed to go through that in order to get to where they're going. Like, that's part of their lessons. And again, under the same thing there, I feel like when people are following somebody or going to somebody for healing, there's a reason there. There's a frequency there. Even if that person is not at the highest vibration, or there's some sort of like illusion or whatever, I do believe in some way that those people are meant to go there, and they are receiving something from that. And it may be a lesson, right? And I've had it happen to myself, so I get that. I can see how it would help us on our path. What that person is doing with the, like, let's take this person and bash everything they believe and all of that is just, it's to a degree that does not need to be done. And again, talking about this, I feel like I'm a part of the problem, but that's just how much of it is not necessary. We don't need to be doing that. You are, allowed to believe what you believe, and you're allowed to do what you do, and whatever that is going to create what you see around you. So that's another reason why I'm like, I don't want to focus on this reality where there's people doing these types of things to people, because I don't want to attract more of it into my reality, and I don't want to create more of it in my reality. But I have noticed a hell of a lot of it. So basically, I did some affirmations that people might want to hear or use on themselves. And it's protect me from evil eye. And I would say it more than once, like, protect me from evil eye, protect me from evil eye, protect me from evil eyes. I am safe and respected. I am safe and respected. I am safe and respected. Keep me away from the dark, miserable souls. Keep me away from the dark, miserable souls. Keep me away from the dark, miserable souls. I receive unconditional love and support. I receive unconditional love and support. I receive unconditional love and support. I receive kindness and love. Everyone I attract treats me with kindness. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Okay, so those are some of the things that I was like, I'm going to start affirming these things, because I don't want to do all that. And while I was saying those things, I thought in my head, I'm very grateful and supported, because the Patreon is doing really good. There's like 12 people in there already on like 3 days in, and people are signing up for the bigger tiers than I had anticipated and all of that. So even in saying that, right, a lot of times we feel like, oh, if as the creator of my reality, I should be super, super careful. But like, there was fears inside of me when I launched that, but even with those fears, it exceeded my expectations because it's aligned and it's part of my path. It's supposed to be doing it, so it's going to work. Oh my goodness, it was 2:22 a.m. So many things have happened. Craziness, okay? I created this video and then I went onto my Patreon real quick to check in because somebody joined and they're one of the bigger tiers, so they get a private reading, and I want to make sure that they know that they get their private reading, so I get their questions, and bop it a boop. And there was a message there from another person who was like, "Hey, I've been following you for a while, and I've been noticing like this thing, and I don't want to allow it to bother me anymore, like the negativity that people spew, and like the insecurities that that could cause, and like that type of stuff, right?" The fact that that message comes in, I'm like, okay, that is total confirmation, because I struggle about sharing this type of video, but that is like letting me know that like other people are being impacted by this right now. These evil eyes, the psychic attack, this karmic crap is just not serving, and it's causing more issues for people, and it's preventing people from even wanting to putting themselves out there and share themselves, and they feel uncomfortable within this stuff that's going on, and it's not okay, you know? Like what that person's doing, the one I was speaking about at first, you know, they're taking it to a whole other degree too. They were even picking apart the creators that they were reviewing physically, and that's not okay, you know. But just the fact that this girl messaged me and she's like, you know, I struggle with like, you know, that type of stuff, like how I don't want to take it on, I don't want to let these things bother me, and I get it. So I think it was huge confirmation that I should share this video, and that it is necessary for us to like be aware of it and proactive within what we're doing. Another comment or another chat that had come in through there was from Rick talking about Alberto Villoldo with the dreaming into being concept. And we are dreaming into being our world around us all the time through what we're thinking, speaking, and focused on. And we can script, we can, you know, speak, we can affirm new things. And I think that what your energy and frequency ripples out is going to attract you, which this proves. Like my energy and frequency rippled out attracts people to me on a similar frequency who are seeing the same things, who may be bothered by the same type of stuff. Earlier today, someone was like, "Hey, thank you for bop it a boop" on my Facebook. And it was the same thing there. I was like, well, like attracts like. So try not to worry too much about this stuff, and don't let it limit you from putting yourself out there. We do live in a time where it seems everybody and their brother is ripping other people apart and being judgmental and just not nice. But if you come from a good place and you have a high vibration, you might attract some people who, but you don't have to let it in, you know, like that was the person saying, like, I don't want to let this in, I don't want to let it, you know, deter me. Try to rise above it and try not to let it hurt you. I'm very grateful and have noticed that even like the things that I've shared out there in the past that have reached 100,000 people, there's been few and far between who come in and like attack me, you know. I noticed there's an increase of it on the planet. Like as I look around, I'm seeing a lot of people doing it to each other. I see a lot of it within comment sections on all types of videos, like videos from like you know, the social media couples who love each other. They can, and it's can be just even on the platform. I've noticed like Facebook can be extremely toxic, but if you link through to their Instagram, everybody there's like, "I love you so much, you guys are so awesome." But on Facebook, they're like, "Oh my God, what happened to her face? Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. You guys can't come up with any new ideas, blah, 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 blah." And then if you go onto their YouTube, it's a whole other story. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. And I get it that a lot of us out here may be afraid to put our vulnerable, authentic self out there because of the fear of like, what if someone does this to me? What if they tear me apart physically? Be intelligent and use it to your advantage of recognizing, you know, that a lot of these people who are doing this aren't intelligent and they don't have anything going on for themselves, and they want to bring other people down, you know, and don't engage in it. Like even in the past when I was aware, like I've never really had anybody do this type of thing to me that I'm aware of anyways. I've never seen it. I've never seen a video where someone's just like tearing me apart and like what I do. I know that there has been people out there, like when I separated from like this narcissistic person in my life, other people let me know, oh yeah, this person's making horrible videos about you. I never looked at them. I swear on everything. I never looked at them because I knew if I looked at them, I was going to be a little evil back, probably not going to feel good. And I was going to be like, blah, 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 blah. And it would have just perpetuated more of it. So I chose not to engage in any of it and just was like, whatever, I don't even care. Like, and that is a superpower in itself, to not let it in and not perpetuate more of it. I also, noticed over the years too, like earlier, if I had any type of like bad feedback in my comments or something, I would get defensive and blah, 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 blah with those people. Over time, which it has slowed down a lot, I have not seen any at all, really, other than occasional, like, you're going to hell, which those people just do that anyways. And it seems like everybody does it to everybody. And again, you don't need to do that to each other. It doesn't matter what you believe. You are dreaming your reality into being based on what you believe. And if you see somebody else that's dreaming their other world into being based on what they believe, and you don't believe in that, let them. Just let them. But if you get caught up in the crosshairs of somebody attacking you, let them, and don't engage in it, and don't let it prevent you from sharing your truth or finding the people who do get it. And if you're coming from good intentions and high vibrations, you most likely will attract the right people. And even if you come from low vibration and low intention, you will still attract supporters. They're just going to be the same way as that. Because you can see, like that person that I mentioned, they have subscribers. Not a whole bunch of them, but the ones that they have are on board with what that person's saying and agreeing. There's occasional, like she was saying, like, oh, this person sent all their followers after me to attack me for sharing this video, which I get, because what you're doing isn't cool. It's not nice. It's like you're not even just like critiquing like one thing. You're going full in on all of them and then trying to act like you have the best path or the only path, like that you know more than everybody else, and nobody does. I don't try to take anybody down to like, oh, you have to believe this, you have to do that. I try not to force feed anything into anybody. I just try to offer a perspective and guidance and support in a way that feels aligned and correct for me. And when I make mistakes, I own up to them. And when I need time away, I take it. And I try not to like project myself into other people's lives in a way that could be harmful. So know that there are good people out there. Know that there are people out there who aren't going to attack you just weird randomly. And if they do, that it speaks about them more than it does about you. And there are people out there who use these types of things in an intelligent way to just like make money. Like I saw a girl recently who knows what her flaws are. She knows that people are going to pick her apart if she shares them. So she highlights them. She's a lanky girl, so she like puts on stuff that makes her look kind of even more lanky and crackheady. And then everybody in the comments is like, oh, method. But all of those comments are spiking up her analytics and making her views increase, which in turn gives her more money in her pocket. And she knows it, and she's aware of it. And I even commented on her thing, and I was like, yo, very intelligent of you, because that is a very easy, quick way to get ahead right now, is to let people be crazy and toxic and just mean because they can't help themselves. And you'll notice that once somebody does that, more and more might jump in on that. But you can create a reality and a community that the majority is high vibration. When I go and I look at my comments, the majority are thank you and happy and nice and not like, and they get it and they're on that same frequency. So if you're of that frequency, don't hold yourself back from putting yourself out there, and don't hold yourself back from speaking your truth. I still struggle with it. I still have moments. I was like, I don't know if I should share this because what if I'm projecting? But then to have that chat come in on my Patreon was like, okay, total confirmation. Exactly what I needed to see in order to get me to be like, okay, this needs to be spread. And, we'll talk more about these types of things, do more affirmations. And I will add my soul contract karmic block revocation here, which I created earlier today, which again, more confirmation and synchronicity. Soul contracts and karmic blocks. Our lives have been impacted and harmed for far too long. This ends now, and it's time to move on. Pain and discomfort has been present too much. I no longer allow for my life to stay stuck. Every day and every moment I've engaged in this has only created more difficult emotions to progress. I call back my power, I call back my light, I call back everything right here, tonight. Life has become stagnant for far too long. Today is the day I say so long. Our contract is null and void. I will no longer choose to hang on. I tried my best, I waited so long, yet now I'm done and I admit I was wrong. I wanted to think and believe that you and I were meant to be. And now I see, in hindsight as I look back, I can't believe I chose to do that. I truly believe it did serve a purpose, just not the one intended for this. Goodbye to you, I rip up our contract. I wish you the best and don't want you back. Not in this life or in any other. I forgive you and me for all of the mistakes made in this life, and I also forgive and let go of the old and outdated, the things I don't remember in the other lives and in timelines. Wherever it began, it's time to say bye.